Yeah.
So I really got to get like this close.
Well, you don't have to get that close.
Do you want me to get this close?
Point in adjusting the levels so people could be like semi-comfortable.
Well, I still sound like I'm far away. And I run.
When are we ever comfortable, Vinny?
I run so far away.
I just run. I run all night and day.
Gonna get away. That's our intro.
That's an intro right there. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sorta My Podcast. My name is Vincent Herman, Vin The Human, sitting to my right.
Bob Collins, Bobb-A Fett, and to my right,
James Odle, Alphaspecter.
That's right, guys. The band is back together. The OG SMPers. That was a lot of acronyming.
say that 3 times fast.
The OG SMPers, the OG SMPers, the OG SMPers. There you
Fair
go.
enough.
Yeah.
Piss off, Bob.
Piss off, Bob.
Peace off, Ghost.
I really should have brought my other beer up here, but I have one more down in the fridge. Yeah, we can always pause later. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce everyone to the episode. Guys, today we're doing a little bit of a extra episode, kind of a side episode. We're reviewing the Aquaman movie. And,
What?
yeah, that's what we came to do.
Odle hasn't seen it
Shit,
yet.
I thought we were talking about Wet Thor.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's right. We are talking about Thor 4 Wet Thor.
I thought we were talking about the Waterboy sequel.
Oh, Waterman.
Aquaman.
Wait, I thought it was Aquanet.
Now that we've gotten all the Facebook memes out of the way, obviously, first thing we're gonna do is spoiler free. We're gonna talk about our overall thoughts, some of the characters, blah blah blah, all of that general shit. While Bob tries to sneak candy behind his back.
These mics are really good.
They are. They're pretty good mics. We've got some decent levels going on. This is actually probably way better sounding than the last review we did.
Yeah. Oh, god damn it, Odle.
See, he just told me not to set the beer bottle down to not make any noise, and then you scratched the
He's
table.
like, oh, you guys are trying to be silent? I rep fresh.
Fucking DJ Odle over here. DJ Alpha. Would that make you Alpha 5? I don't know. There's a joke there. Anyways, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Aquaman. So, okay. So, there's actually, we started to talk about this last night, and we cut ourselves off because we were getting way too into the conversation. And, Odle, what is it that you said to get that conversation started?
He likes Jason Momoa's pecs.
Well, I mean, we all do. That's a round table thing.
Okay.
Oh, no. I asked you, I wanted to hear your thoughts on the movie because I came out of the movie and I'm like, you know what? I really enjoyed this movie. I wonder how bad Vinny's going to tear it apart.
And see, when we did start talking, we didn't necessarily like get too deep into it, but I think I got across that like I enjoyed the movie,
Which kind of surprised me because
Yeah.
your thoughts on the Momoa Aquaman from the get-go was like,
Yeah.
that's not it.
I've
That's
never
not
been
Aquaman.
totally sold on Aqua Bro, but since we're not in spoilers, I feel like I could say this. I feel like throughout this movie, he starts as Aqua Bro and forms into Aquaman.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
some character progression in this.
I was
and I
gonna say,
enjoyed that.
in your defense, the one full time we've seen him prior, and like the what is it, a few seconds?
Yeah,
in
there was a few
BBS.
seconds in BBS.
But like what we've seen of him prior was Aqua Bro. Like there was no like he had that weird like armor shit.
Yeah,
like, there was
he was
no really
full-on
remnants that he
Momoa.
was an Aquaman that we've ever seen before.
Yeah.
So I mean I
Really?
understand it.
Like, in Justice League, all he really was a demigod. Like, that's all that was portrayed. He wasn't Aquaman in any sense other than when, like, the 4 minutes that we got of him in the water when he was...
Oh, when they're in the big talk bubble?
Yeah.
The Mara talk bubble.
So...
Which I'm so glad they didn't do for this movie.
I mean, they did... Kinda. They used it.
There was that one moment where there was like a bubble but it was for a completely different reason. It wasn't to be like, all right, now we could talk.
I feel like she did it twice, but still, it's kind of a display of her power or something like that. Oh, yeah. The way they used it in Aquaman or in Justice League was unnecessary.
Yeah.
And the way they used it in Aquaman was completely poignant to why she would need that kind of power. But still, like, at least the Justice League thing is a little more forgivable now, especially because... And it should have been with us anyways, because we know that Mera is an Aquamancer, or whatever the term is. I think
Waterbender.
Waterbender. She's Avatar, the last Waterbender. But no, yeah, I feel like Mera was off. How did you guys feel about Mera?
What was it referred to? Store brand Scarlett Johansson?
Yes! Yeah. I totally got a Scarlett Johansson vibe throughout this whole thing, and I really feel like that was their first choice, but they were like, oh, that's right, she's part of the MCU, she'd never slum it here.
One thing that always threw me off was her hair. It seemed so unnaturally red. Like, it was
but
very
so
obvious
is
that
Mera's in the comics. Like, Mera's hair is... It's the same thing, like, everyone was saying with Inhumans. And don't get me wrong, Inhumans had, like, a million fucking problems. But with, Medusa's hair.
Hair woman.
With Medusa's hair... It doesn't look natural in the comics. You kind of have to go that goofier route with it because of what it is. Her hair is a superpower, basically. But
Mera's hair is not a superpower.
It's not, but it is
attractive factor.
It didn't even look like it was dyed like salon quality. It looked like she got some boxes from Walmart and bleached her hair and dyed that shit.
Kind of is what it looks like in the comics. It's straight red.
Vin hit it on the head there. It's crazy red. When bitches lose their shit, that's the color red they go.
They're like Hades with this blue flame hair. It's like whenever he gets angry, it gets bigger and brighter. Okay, I get it.
Thanks for listening to all of our female audience, and that was my work. Walkie-talkie over there. If you would have shut that off for me. But yeah, Amber Heard. Yeah, it did seem like dime store. Costuming was great on that character, I guess. What about Willem Dafoe? How do you guys feel about Willem Dafoe?
I feel like he underperformed.
He did.
I feel like he ran the gauntlet. Like, there were some moments where, like, the training sequences.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah. The training, that was all great, especially with the...
I don't know how to turn this off. Oh,
the button that has the power button symbol.
Yeah, I noticed that right when I was handing it to you.
And there it goes.
I really feel like with Teenage Aquaman, when he was doing that training, like, that was a really good moment with Willem Dafoe and that actor at that point.
But then when you see him standing next to fucking Patrick Wilson, King Orm, that's when he felt like he didn't give a shit.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like there were some sequences where Willem, like, he didn't phone it in. Like, he was actually really into this. And then there were some scenes, like, especially in Atlantis,
he was just there.
Yeah, like, it just...
And I feel like part of that may have to do with, like, you could tell there was a lot of unnecessary CG.
Oh, you don't say.
Maybe.
Well, no, like...
There may have been some CG.
Some of the scenes where he was... under the effects of CG that you could tell, they weren't necessary, in my opinion.
I mean, for the most part, I feel like everything that was green screen, blue screen, whatever, like, was pretty necessary.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking like...
I think you're talking about, like, when he's inside of, like, the battle room or whatever you want to call it. They could have built a set for that.
Yeah. Or they could even put it inside of a different setting that would have been more practical.
When it was just, like, there wasn't any, like... exaggerated movements, anything like that. It was conversation, but there was still that heavy CG.
And you can't even argue for him that he's not used to CG because Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So he's worked in that realm before. Although I would argue that
Spider-Man was a lot more practical.
No, that's what I was going to say. That would have been a lot more practical, but I'm sure he had some CG work there. And I never really felt like he was ever bored like he came off in this.
I feel like the glider, any scene with him on that glider may have been practical. Like there was really
like he was really flying on the glass. Yep.
Yeah.
Nope.
Pretty
That
sure.
tracks. But now King Orem though. Wow, was that character on Ocean Master?
What did I see? What was it? Like Wet Eminem? Did you see that meme?
Yeah.
But I loved that character. That is, and I've seen this said in so many other things. That is the first real villain we've gotten, the really fleshed out villain that we can give a shit about in the DCEU, or what's left of it, I guess.
Maybe a little bit with Zod in Man of Steel.
Yeah,
but other
would
than
argue
that,
Zod is
I completely agree.
compelling to a point, but I still felt like where Zod was more. And because of the way their race is in that movie, like they're all based out of this codex and stuff, like you can understand why he would be more goal-oriented, more robotic.
Yeah.
It still felt like there was more humanity to King Orem, which made him more compelling, because there is a strong story here, which I don't think we can really bring up, like, exactly what his ties to Aquaman are in this, in non-spoilers.
I mean, for us, this is not a spoiler.
No, but I still feel like we should save it.
public, yeah, maybe.
But still, I loved him. And holy shit, like, just blanketing all the characters, they went for it with costuming.
Oh, yeah, they
Oh,
did.
yeah.
They went for it, and it works. It, like... Ocean
for every
Master's
character.
costume alone, Ocean Master and Black Manta, which we've talked about that
And then
before.
even Aquaman at a certain point, like everybody's costume felt very comic accurate.
I'm just saying, like
very,
the comic accurate ones that are just ridiculous. Black Manta's costume should never look good in live action,
No.
but it does.
did.
Yeah, Ocean Master
and then
should
even
look
Ocean
ridiculous.
Masters. There are certain things they did with Ocean Masters that even as masks, they animated the eyes to show expression, like pretty much what they did with Deadpool. But like it adds so much more to it. So like you could see whenever he's getting furious or like surprised, anything like that.
Yeah, no, you're right, and it didn't feel unnatural. I didn't even really notice too much the animation of the eyes. I think it was just that, like, I was so swept away with it all, the costuming and everything. And the CG, while spotty at times, it still worked. Like, they still did a really good job, especially in the de-aging department.
Yes.
Oh,
Wow.
God, yeah.
Yes.
I feel like they took a lot of time with de-aging. And that's one thing I said to Odle, because me and Odle watched it together, was like, man, this is almost some like Marvel level de-aging. Like,
Yeah,
they
really pulled the ILM out their ass.
And you really don't even notice it until you see those people
Later.
present day. Yeah, like you see what they look like in comparison. You're like, oh wow, that was great actually.
Let's also talk about Aquaman's parents, Queen Atlanta, played by Nicole Kidman.
Nicole motherfucking Kid, Dr. Chase Meridian.
Yeah, and oh god, what is this? Tamaru Morrison, I guess is.
It wouldn't be an
the
SMP
actor's
if you
name,
might not fuck up someone's name.
Yeah, right. But he played Tom Curry, Aquaman's dad. They were great.
I liked them both.
They were so cute too.
And yeah, they had a great dynamic with each other. I really feel like Nicole Kidman owned this fucking performance.
Oh yeah,
God.
And well, I can't say that yet. But like everything about her, just from being relatively new to the surface world to being the new mom, and with him, but then like it's what 5 years on that she's been on the
I think
surface
she
or something
spends
like
that much time on land.
but she still fights like a fucking
legend.
That's what I was going to
my
mention,
God.
is that there was a fight scene pretty close to the beginning of the film that she tears shit up with the trident, bro.
Yeah, no, she like that was fun and exciting, but with that first part of the movie though, the love story between her and Tom Curry, I loved that.
2018 Splash.
I was so invested in that quote unquote fish out of water story. And that love story that, like, by the end of the film, some of the things that happened in the end had me in tears. I loved what was going on there so much, and that's everything to do with their acting ability and them selling that so well. I loved it. Okay, so overall, what did you guys think of the action set pieces? From the trailers, we know there are some bigger war set pieces. Obviously, there's going to be some one-on-one shit. We saw that extended trailer with a lot of stuff going on like in Italy. The big rooftop chase scene.
For the most part, like, it was, all in all, it was very enjoyable. Like, I enjoyed from beginning to end this whole movie. One thing I am glad they kind of strayed away from is, like, the smoke and darkness of all the other DC films during a big fight scene. Yeah. But they did kind of substitute it with bubbles and mist in certain scenes. Like, I'm thinking about it, like, that's exactly what they did, which is okay. Like, you kind of have to understand that with this much CG, you do need a little bit of a
cover.
Yeah.
Smoke screen,
something to help it out.
And I know what you're talking about, especially one of the big one-on-one fights around, like, the middle of the movie. There was a lot.
Yeah. I was referring more to the final fight. There was a lot. I mean,
you're talking about during the big clash that we see in with all the creatures,
and then what that leads into at the end, like the.
Oh yeah.
But with that, like I said, with that much going on, that much CG, you kind of have to, like, you kind of accept that subconsciously, that, like, your mind is working so fast, taking in all these cut scenes, like scenes getting cut back and forth, all these different characters doing what they're doing. It was extremely enjoyable for me. Like, I can split hairs and nitpick this movie, which I probably will get to that point by the end of this recording, but it was an enjoyable movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, I enjoyed it.
You say that very reluctantly, though.
Well, it's not Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman.
No, it's not.
Wonder Woman is leagues ahead of this one. It's better than Justice League, but I feel like I got more enjoyment out of Justice League just from, like, some of the wish fulfillment moments, that happened in that film, especially towards the end of it.
Well, I was gonna say, you got to think that with Justice League, that hits a lot for you. But with this especially, I don't think any of us can really say that we have been, like, hardcore Aquaman fans over the years or anything like that. This was, cool, an Aquaman movie.
Yeah.
So we go into this like, well, that was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But it's still Aquaman.
Yeah. And I don't know how it stacks against Man of Steel. Right now I'm going to put them on equal footing.
This is because I don't know what exactly I told Odle right after this, but, like, this is pretty much my standing, is Wonder Woman's still on top for me. And then at a very close second and third, Man of Steel and Aquaman.
Yeah. It's a good adventure, but something about it just doesn't have me blown away. I'm going to buy it when it comes out. Just to give you an idea where I'm standing in the DCEU, I own all of them except for Suicide Squad, because I forgot about buying Suicide Squad when I was buying all the others.
You forgot about uploading a review for Suicide Squad.
And when I realized, I was like, I don't need it.
I mean, that's one of the few that I think I've seen probably the most, with it just being on, like, everything. HBO or Showtime or something.
People are
whenever I'm in
practically
hotels.
giving it away. They're like, for the love of God, please watch this movie.
The first time I watched Suicide Squad was like, oh, okay, that was cool. The second time was, I liked it better the first time. Then each time it just got worse and worse. Now I can't watch it.
Yeah, I probably will see maybe one more time in my lifetime. That's about it. But it was good. Odle,
was it?
You already said.
Was it?
No, I'm talking about Aquaman. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm going back. Odle, you already said that you loved it.
Really for me, and like I told you guys, coming out of the theater the first time seeing this, I enjoyed it as much as I did my first time seeing Wonder Woman. But I'm also, like, I'm kind of like the Jason Mewes of this group. You hand me a comic or you show me a comic book movie, I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah. Like, granted, I still refuse to watch
You were
Film
also
Forstick.
Terribly addicted to heroin for a very long time.
Okay, not quite that Jason Mewes, but, I mean, I may be on par with
heard
him
you
on
say
sex
snooch
stories.
to the booch so many
I've
times.
seen you shoot heroin in your gooch using toilet water.
That's beside
And then
the
you
point.
You said
That
something,
doesn't count. The toilet water
along the lines of
diluted
He said, snooch to my gooch.
snooch to my gooch. Yeah. So
See,
now that we've
now
established,
I'm the racist and the druggie. This
So
is what you guys are making me.
You are Portsmouth in one person.
I am the physical embodiment of Portsmouth.
you are Alpha Portsmouth.
I don't want to live anymore.
Are you guys ready to move on to spoilers?
Yes.
Yes, everyone does.
All right, guys.
God damn it, you beat me to it.
Did you say every? But it happened so fast, I didn't even catch
Yes,
what you said.
everyone drowns. The fucking ship sinks at the end. And there was more than enough room for one person on that goddamn door.
Leonardo DiCaprio was the
Okay.
villain the whole time.
Okay, so
What if
there's
they casted
a
Leonardo DiCaprio as Aquaman?
What?
Like, what if they did?
What if they did?
I would like
They would have definitely made a shitty, stupid, roll your eyes Titanic joke
Like-
during this film. That's what would have happened. Anyways, guys, this is your spoiler warning. It's time to get out now. Well, I feel like we've given you enough lead up. So, what do you guys want to talk about first? What do you want to dig into first? Well, we mentioned King Orm's connection to Aquaman. How do you think they handled that? How do you feel?
Odle. See, it's okay if Odle does it. Because this is continuity.
We got a good chew break going on here. Nobody likes this during a podcast, by the way. This is what gets people to shut shit off. I'm not editing it out either. I'm gonna message you guys with the analytics. If nobody makes it more than 20 minutes in, I'm gonna be like, "Look what you did." Anyways, how do you guys feel like they handled that whole half brother situation? Yeah.
Orm was an asshole.
Yeah, he was kind of a. I mean, he was an asshole. I mean, he was the villain, but you also, again, I feel like there was a lot of humanity here under the surface, and you see it more in his actions than in his expressions. Like when they're having that discussion before the Ring of Fire fight. When they're having that discussion,
into a burning
the
ring
one
of fire.
underneath the arena.
And it's
When they first enter in,
no.
and he's basically telling Arthur Curry, like, don't do this. We don't have to do this. Just go back to the surface world and go away. I felt like there was some genuine...
Yeah, that felt very sincere. It's like, look, we're from two different worlds.
Yeah.
Go your way, I'll go mine.
He knows that this is his arena. He knows that he's trained for this.
Speaking of trains.
He was trained for it. Huh? God, that really picks up a lot, doesn't it?
That is also an unofficial intern of the podcast. We've got a cat, a 13-year-old, and trains that run through.
Oh, and drunk Brittany.
And drunk Brittany now. So we've got a nice little bevy of help going on here, if you want to call it help. Anyways.
Now, for me, the first interaction that they had when Aquaman was in the chains, and like Orm was confronting him there in the throne room.
Yeah.
That when he got close and was like, had that I've waited for this moment and now I'm conflicted kind of thing. And then it plays into that next conversation where you can still kind of see some of that conflict. It's
and the way he carries himself in that throne room, you can tell that's an act. Like he's putting on the airs because he's in front of the king. He is the king.
Yeah.
But that Ring of Fire, that pre-battle discussion, that's where you see the genuine concern there. Yeah. Because like you see it later on, he doesn't hate his mother, and therefore he doesn't necessarily hate his brother. He does show confliction, and I felt like that was really good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Patrick Wilson's a great actor anyways. We're talking about fucking Night Out here.
Yeah, come on.
And the other thing is...
Or no. Fuck Watchmen. Have you ever seen Hard Candy?
I haven't yet. I own it. I haven't watched it. But
dude, fucking watch it.
what about Insidious? He's great in Insidious. Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah,
Everything.
This is really good.
What was I saying?
I have no idea. You said and we just kept talking.
He showed a lot of consistency as a character through the movie. Like, a lot of times you'll see a lot of back and forth or inconsistencies. And like we talked before, there were inconsistencies with some of the acting in this movie. I felt his performance was
genuine all the way through.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about... hold on, I have something just now.
While you're thinking of that,
Yeah.
since he mentioned the first encounter between Arthur and
Orm.
No. One thing that I instantly noticed was, why does Jason Momoa have his shirt off? Like, why did they take only his shirt off?
Was he wearing a shirt when they caught him?
Yes, he was. And then by the time he was in chains, he had no shirt on, and that's the only thing they removed from him. I'm like,
took his shirt off.
I mean, I know why they did it.
Yeah.
Because the female viewers, let's be real. That's the only reason I truly believe why it's making so much money right now.
I don't know, man. Momoa is one of those guys. He kind of
I love Momoa.
He rocks anything. Like, he's just too cool to look bad. And it doesn't matter if he has his shirt on or not. Like, they've already got the female viewers. They could have put him in, like, 6 parkas. Like, but not even all on his upper torso, like, tied some around his leg.
But that is definitely
a hat.
That is definitely servicing to a certain audience.
Well, yeah.
Like,
I mean,
because my chubby, pale, fucking out of shape ass doesn't want to be like, yeah,
you know what though?
That's what I aspire to be. I'm like, this makes me feel
with
bad.
people like Momoa. Like, I never. And don't get me wrong, I get my, and I'm not chubby in the long run. No. But I still get my body things. I think like, oh man, I don't look like that guy. But stacked against Momoa, I never get that thought because I'm like, I could never be him.
He literally could be a demigod.
I have no shot at being a Momoa light.
I know what you're about to mention.
It was Jason Momoa. I can't think of her name now.
Gal Gadot.
And
the chick from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I don't know her name.
Daenerys?
The chick who plays Daenerys.
The other person that fucking Momoa fucked.
Yeah. They're all 3 in a picture, and it's like, this looks like a show about a girl going to college and her demigod parents.
I want to see that. But no, I never worry about that. Let's talk about what I think my biggest problem with the movie is. It's too long. I think the movie is too long, and I feel like that's because of, like, MacGuffin-ish plot devices. Like, the way they have to... And I get that they're trying to, with this, tell, like, adventure story of them trying to find the fucking... King Atlanta's trident?
Yeah.
The
fucking magical spear of destiny.
Yeah, like the fucking trident. The one that's supposed to unite the 7 seas.
And get you.
God damn it, Odle.
Well, I don't think the mic picked that up.
No, do not provoke him. Anyways, like, some of the shit they do to get to that point is just overkill. The Italy chase scene, I feel like that went on too long. Like, I mean, we had that 5-minute trailer, the 5-minute special look, which was pretty much all that. 5 minutes.
No, there was a lot more to that.
Really?
And that special look was long. Yeah. It didn't show a lot of the
that.
It didn't show a lot of the one-on-one fight between Aquaman and Manta.
Still, I feel like that chasing,
like the guy getting a whole fucking pillar dropped on his legs, and Aquaman comes up and lifts it up while his family's there, and the guy just gets up and runs off. No, motherfucker, you're paralyzed.
I said
paralyzed.
I said it in the theater. I went, not walking away from that. And I didn't care who was around me.
Brittany was like, that motherfucker's legs are broken. He is not able to get up and run away.
Now, yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. I was talking, it's like, you can't go into a superhero movie with logic and common sense, but there are some things that you have to apply logic and common sense to.
A 17-ton fucking stone marble pillar dropped on your legs.
Yeah, we're talking about
you're not getting up and sprinting off with your family. No,
we're
you're
talking about a city
away.
that obviously wasn't built out of balsa wood here. Anyways, yeah, stuff like that. The fucking that stupid hologram thing.
Yeah, that was...
where they take like one drop of like 50 beads of his sweat to activate like this entire machine that apparently needs to run. It's submerged in water.
You could have just peed on it.
Oh yeah, hilarious fucking.
And honestly,
there.
the I could have peed on it line would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
If it wasn't shown in the trailer.
All of their bitching in the desert just to show that Mara has some sort of prejudice against the surface world. Like, you could have taken care of that in a line earlier. In fact, no. In fact, they did give her a surface world prejudice line before that scene. So, and as far as I can tell, they only give her those two. So that seemed almost pointless. There are just a lot of, like, scenes meant to show you things you've either already seen or do not need to see.
Yeah.
That, like they could have cut this movie down a good 20 minutes at least.
That whole pirate ship scene that magically exists in its own air bubble without Mara's powers. Whatever. Okay, fine. I'll believe that enough. But why did we need to go do? Why is that the good ship exposition?
Well,
that is what that is.
I remember that, and I remember the explanation for that place being there. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if you guys remember why she said that, like, air pocket or whatever was there.
Yeah, they needed a secret place, I guess, but it's not like...
Because of plot.
It's not like they're monitoring every fucking fathom of the ocean or something, and they were tracking her with the goddamn bracelet anyway.
Well,
so
she didn't get that until after
and it didn't even
fight.
matter, because guess what happens? They find them there.
Yeah.
Oh...
And all they gotta do is go in with those fucking suits on.
Let's talk about that was worth the fucking pause. Odle tried to launch candy into my mouth. God damn it, we'll do it again. Nope.
That was a lot closer.
Went into my shirt, though.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about the unsung character of this whole show. Interrupting explosions. Every fucking time someone's in some sort of conversation, there's an explosion and then shit breaks loose. Like, I think I counted 6 times it happens. They're like, no, we have to go here. Your father said this or blah, blah, blah. And it's always been this way since the... Oh, shit, now everything's going down. We gotta fight Black Manta.
Oh, my God. We are loving our child here peaceful on Earth for 5 years. Boom! Atlantis, bitch!
Give me my fucking trident. Yeah. No, did you guys notice that at all? Yeah.
I honestly didn't until you brought it up.
Me and my
now
son,
looking back on it, I'm just like, yeah, you're right.
After the third one,
I mean,
my
honestly,
son and I looked right at each other.
Even the submarine, while Manta and his dad and everybody's running around, it's like, boom! What was that? I don't know. Somebody just ran into our fucking submarine. It was the fish guy.
It was the fish. These are all exact quotes, by the way. Everything we're saying.
Yeah. Verbatim.
It was that fish dude.
But actually, I think the fish guy is a line from the movie.
No.
The guy at the bar.
No, that fucking scene. That's another waste of time scene. Like, first of all,
no, that was like a scene. It's like, here's 5 minutes of Jason Momoa being Jason Momoa.
Yeah, and there's no
it was funny. Don't get me wrong. Like,
I didn't think it was funny.
Oh,
I didn't
really?
think it was funny at all because...
It felt a little over the top because it's like, why would this guy have a fucking cell phone case that is bedazzled and glittery and pink?
Well, there's that. If these guys knew Momoa previously, if we knew that they did, like, I could write it off as like... Because me and guys at work every now and again will be like, hey, look, bitch, if you don't have this fucking truck loaded by the time I get back, it's your fucking ass. We'll say that shit, like, joking with each other. Mm-hmm. But... in a situation like this,
trains, sirens. God, I love
nothing we can do about it until someone wants to run a Patreon, guys. Either one of you wanting to sign up for that? You want to start us a Patreon? Because I can't do it. I can't run it. I think the listener thinks that I'm talking to them because I literally got... You guys know this isn't a visual medium, right?
That's why I was about to explain. That is the sound of me drinking a beer, ignoring Vincent as he speaks.
And that was the sound of silence.
That bar scene, I cannot suspend my disbelief during that because, one, these guys didn't know him. You don't approach a guy like that, and I don't mean a guy like Momoa. I mean you don't
wait a minute.
approach.
Weren't you fighting with Superman? Okay, you're a bitch. You don't a bitch of a good guy.
Yeah, you don't approach a guy going like, "Oh, aren't you that fish boy?" Like mean mug him and shit, and then go like, "I just wanted your fucking picture of my pink bedazzled fucking." No, fuck you. That's a stupid fucking scene. I hate that scene.
My phone's out of minutes, so I took my daughter's.
I'm really fucking enraged by this scene. Like, the more I think about it, the more I hate that fucking scene. And I get it. Aquaman likes to drink and party, but you know what you could have shown him doing? That with his dad. That would have been charming, funny, and would have made sense.
Or even have that whole scene.
Whatever.
Or even have that whole scene without the whole encounter of, aren't you that fish boy? Let me get a picture.
Yeah.
Like of him just being like,
some guys
you know what?
Him.
Let's just calm down and have a good easy night tonight, and then do the montage of, oh, I'm taking pictures with everybody in the bar. We're getting drunk. Look, this guy. I'm going to draw a dick on his forehead.
Yeah, there's so many ways you could have gone about it. Yeah, there's just a lot of waste of time in this film, and that's my biggest problem. Because, like I said, I like the character progression of Arthur Curry. I like how he becomes Aquaman, and it. All right, guys. Goddamn. Okay. Fucking, my headphones are off now. Like, for real, I get it. We're not professionals, but for fuck's sake. Oh my God. Jesus goddamn Christ. Honestly, I think this is the worst, like, professionalism-wise, this is the worst we've ever done.
That was supposed to be silent. I wasn't expecting...
God damn it. So I think we need to stop throwing candy at each other.
I wasn't expecting it to bounce off his lip and hit the fucking mic.
Jesus.
I mean, what do you expect? This is the first time we've all been behind a mic since, I don't know, fucking 6 years.
I want to personally...
We made Vin go dad mode.
I took my headphones off. I took my glasses off.
He went straight in dad mode. Look, if you don't calm down, I'm going to turn this podcast right around and go back home.
If you guys can't fucking handle your Hershey's cookies and cream crunchies, I will take them away.
You never should have gave them to me, Vincent.
That was my mistake.
Yeah.
Okay, come on, fuck off. I would have personally apologized to our listeners, or maybe this was very entertaining. I don't know. I don't know what makes a good podcast. No.
We really don't.
God damn.
Obviously. What were you talking about?
I was talking about the character progression of Arthur Curry again. But anything else you guys want to talk about? What else do you want to mention about this? What about the big fucking fight scene between what were the crab people?
You mean whenever Aquaman made all these sharks eat their fucking riders? That was metal as fuck, bro.
That was so cool.
Before we talk about that, there's a little bit of lead in. Because you know, through the whole movie, everyone knows, okay, Aquaman talks to fish. That's a running joke for years.
But he's not necessarily talking to him, though. Like, the way they go about it in this movie.
There's that... He can understand them, and he can, kind of get them to do things sometimes.
I feel like...
He legitly did the Super Friends...
and they used the sound effects and everything.
Yeah, like, that made me excited, dude.
Oh, another pointless scene, and I called this from that first fucking trailer, the aquarium scene, like, that was bullshit.
That was literally just be like, oh, well, he's been able to do this since he was little.
And the CG looked just as bad as it did in the trailer. I hated that scene, too.
Talking about younger scenes, one thing I did, like, I mean, it's a very, very small detail, but we all know that Arthur's tattoos all over his body is based off of Jason Momoa's real life fucking...
Yeah, he does have
his
a
family
Samoan
tattoo there.
Yeah.
So, like, seeing him as the teenager, having just
like
the
that,
Momoa tattoo on his arm, like, not up the shoulder,
well, they
across
show
the chest or
him,
anything.
like, they even show him grown up, Jason Momoa, like, from earlier years or something, and he's got less tattoos than he does during the present day of the film or something.
I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I did notice is while he's on a teenager, like, training with a trident with Willem Dafoe.
Yeah,
He had the forearm
just the one,
tattoo that Momoa has.
But that's what I'm saying. They gave him some like tattoo continuity, which is like the first time the DCEU has ever given that much thought to continuity. But no. Before we get into the big fight scene, what did you guys think about what was the thing guarding the trident?
The thing guarding the trident
Lovecraft motherfucking...
Which, did you notice in the very beginning, the books on the coffee table?
Brittany brought it to my attention as well that there was an H.P. Lovecraft book on the table.
Yeah.
But that was the big-ass fucking creature towards the end of the fight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we knew that.
What that was... Now,
thank you, Captain Obvious. Now that was SMP for the day. My name is Bobb-A Fett.
Hear me out, okay? This movie officially connects the DCEU to the Godzilla and Pacific Rim universe.
Is that one of the creatures from Pacific Rim?
That is a kaiju. It came from a rift in the ocean floor.
Is that what was said in the movie? In the Aquaman movie?
No, but
just making shit up.
Like, no, this is
like,
just imagination.
Hear me out. There have been comments made about the Godzilla movies, the new ones that are coming out, being connected to the Pacific Rim movies.
So you're telling me that there's a chance that Superman could fight Godzilla.
Okay.
Is that what you're telling me? Because I'll watch the fuck out of that.
First of all, I do want to state that we're like over 40 minutes into this, and instead of talking about the film, we're talking about wild-ass fan theories. Second of all, a fan theory, like theory. The fan passion is that the Godzilla movies would cross over with the Pacific Rim movies, but that's not going to happen. They have came out and said that's not going to.
But this is my own theory. This isn't a fan
the rights
theory.
To certain.
I don't know. It doesn't matter
now.
This is
alpha theory.
We should be talking about right now.
Your alpha theory is terrible.
There should be a whole new segment called Alpha Theory.
We've spent 2.5 minutes talking about something that's not even in the film.
All right. Before we get to the end scene, one thing I want to actually jump back towards the beginning, and we talked about this off mic last night, and it pertains to something we were talking about earlier in this episode, which is there's some bad acting in this movie.
Yeah.
The whole exchange between Black Manta's character and his father, while his father is pinned under a torpedo.
I mean,
I felt like
even
Black
before
Manta's.
that,
oh yeah,
when they're in that
especially
hallway.
that exchange between the two of them was kind of cringeworthy, dude.
Black Manta's entire purpose in this film, like everything with him, aside from the action scenes where he's fighting Aquaman, it seems rushed and somewhat pointless to the plot, because you have we'll go through the timeline here. You have him as a pirate taking the submarine, which we find out later was like, that's the only cool thing about Black Manta's story in this, is that he is actually the linchpin in them starting the war, like getting the Seven Kingdoms together to launch a war against the surface world. But like, he just shows up, like, they take the ship, they're walking through a hallway, they stop real quick for some exposition just so we could set up the name Black Manta.
Yeah, this belonged to your grandfather. He went by Manta. Well,
also, was it ever stated that thing was made out of Atlantean steel? Nope. But eventually he just stabs Aquaman with it, and I'm going like, okay.
When we've already seen literally a fucking grenade hit
Atlantean
Arthur,
steel,
and it blew him back.
Atlantean steel can
cut
him. So
but
that's
that
what I'm
knife
thinking.
has never once been like, this is a special type of metal. No, this was just a fucking raggedy ass like pirate knife.
I guess it has to be
ago.
though. But yeah, no, we were never given any explanation on that. And then we jump ahead like 3 minutes, and his father is dying. And there's a scene that if we had gotten to know these characters at all, might have been really powerful, but. Instead, it came off bland and D-list.
Yeah.
Now, jump ahead. We have no idea, at least I have no idea, how he gets to this point of building this new suit.
Yeah, we do.
Was it with the money, I guess?
Oh, I know, like how he is like physically.
They bring him all
Yeah,
this
they bring him
equipment.
all
do
that
they?
tech. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I got up to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
You
okay.
missed this.
Well,
Okay.
well.
That's why I said at least
some
I
of
don't
the
know.
Atlantean army guys.
Well, it
the
was-
people
it
in
was
those
his
fucking
commandos.
suits. Yeah. It was Ocean Master's commandos. They brought him a case of like this is a prototype gun. So like the eyes of the Manta suit is actually the end of the gun.
Like the
Like, I
gun
even said it to
takes-
you while we were in the
takes
theater.
Water
Now here's
in terms
my
of, like, concentrated
here's my
plasma
follow-up
rays.
question to the whole thing though.
Mm-hmm.
They clearly showed in a scene like maybe 3 or 4 scenes before that them not wanting anything more to do with him. They're done with his ass. And now they're randomly showing up.
By this point, Arthur and Mara has already. This is after
They're
the
in
Ring
the
of Fire
desert, or-
situation.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
bounce
something.
and they can't find her.
Well, no,
even
they're-
though they
they're tracking.
have, oh yeah, that's right.
They're tracking.
They had the
but
GPS.
They can't go on land.
But
Yeah.
did they show up and say, "We need you to track her"?
Yes.
Or did
Yeah,
they just show up with weapons?
No. They showed up like, listen, you need to hunt her and him down. Here's this prototype shit, and what you remember him stabbing Arthur wasn't with that knife. It was,
No. He stabbed him with that
the knife.
knife.
Did he?
Yeah,
Oh,
does stab
fuck, I
him
must-
with the Manta knife.
But he had a blade that came out of his arm.
Atlantean
yeah,
blade.
that wasn't
but during
an
that
Atlantean
fight,
blade.
he says, "I have Atlantean steel now," and that was all I needed.
No, okay.
So, and then we see him fight Aquaman. He loses. He should be dead.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean,
God.
that fall. I don't care what suit you're in. He's dead, and he blew his own fucking face off.
He only lost one eye on both the helmet and his face.
And I guess his ribs needed a little taping up because he had something around his ribs. And then he's got that stupid scene with the scientist who believes
that was such a weak mid-credits scene.
See,
It was.
because that character's motivations in the comics is that nobody believes in Atlantis, but by this point, like with Aquaman now being a full-on in front of people thing,
Yeah.
Atlantis is real. So what is this guy's motivations now?
Not only that,
And in the comics, like, he wound up killing, was it Arthur's father? Like, that's why Arthur has such a big thing
Yeah, it depends
against him?
on what run you're talking about, like which continuity, because eventually it's Black Manta who kills Arthur's father.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the scientist.
Oh, no, fuck. I don't know who the
Yeah.
fuck that guy is.
No, I know who that guy is from the comics. Like, I don't know, not important. Point is that now they're linked up for reasons that might play out in the second movie.
We'll
but
probably
that
never
was
know.
I think that was the biggest character letdown of the whole thing. Was Black Manta looked cool in the action scenes, but you don't give a shit about him the whole movie.
there's no development.
And
at all.
it just ends up adding to there's too much shit in this movie because honestly I could have used less of Black Manta. But if they had gone with less, I'd be complaining about there not being enough Black Manta.
And can we talk about even though she's such a great actress and I loved her in this movie, can we talk about Nicole Kidman being like the great value brand Michelle Pfeiffer from Ant-Man? Like being lost in this crazy universe.
Oh,
surviving for years.
Another thing that pissed me off was that wasn't Dinosaur Island. That's just a personal
I mean,
thing.
they had dinosaurs, so
But
it was
yeah,
close
well,
enough.
no,
That
they-
should satisfy you,
They come
Vincent.
out of the water, you see this island, you see dinosaurs running around. I'm going, is it Dinosaur Island? And then it's like, nope.
Jurassic Park.
Nope, it's Journey to the Center of the Earth, but you don't have Brandon Fraser.
Where's Jeff Goldblum?
Oh
He
my
just
god, I made a really
found
funny
a way.
Jurassic Park joke earlier today. Oh, no, I was watching Miracle on 31st Street,
Yes,
34th
yeah,
Street,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I was like, I really want...
You know what? Don't even say the joke. If you want to hear it, Go to Sorta My
Go
Comics.
to the Sorta My Podcast Instagram. That's where I posted it. Yeah.
It was on Facebook too.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I posted it on my personal Facebook.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah. Follow
Man,
Vincent Herman
I'm really
on Facebook.
glad I brought that up. That wasn't boring at all. No, that end battle, whatever. We'll just say this: it was badass. The whole big sprawling, like, you got fucking Lord of the Rings level vibes from that. It was so big and so immersive. It really was a cool scene. I really liked that. You guys could add to this. Instead of eating candy.
No, I'm nodding my head looking at you like, yes, this is, I agree.
The trip there. Like, them, first of all, stealing the ship and him being like, did you just steal a ship?
And while she's playing a flute.
Yeah.
Like, the interaction between Arthur and Mira in this movie was great. Like, I thoroughly, other than you could have just
I'm
beat on a
sorry.
woman.
No, that was hit and miss. Like, shit like that. Did you just steal a ship? Well, it's a funny line. Like, you're telling me Mara has no concept of ownership? Like, she doesn't realize that people own things?
Not in the sense of the surface world.
But you're going to tell me in Atlanta that she has her own little submarine thing.
Ship.
That she's like, oh yeah, that's mine, and she had it stashed away and shit. You're gonna tell me that
doesn't translate?
Yeah.
Apparently not.
That's bullshit.
Because of plot.
Yeah.
Right?
Also, why does Queen Atlanta eat a goldfish?
Because she's hungry.
I don't know. That was very weird to me too.
It was like, that doesn't seem like the first impulse of an Atlantean.
She was hungry.
I'm in a strange world. Obviously, I'm a cat.
Something else that I want to point out as well is we as the movie went on, Arthur was less and less bro.
Well, yeah, we've said that.
Like there were multiple times.
Where were you an hour and a half ago?
No, like there were multiple times, and I feel like they kind of got like overshadowed where he showed a lot of intelligence.
Yeah,
and you're going to talk about that one scene in Italy, aren't you?
Let's go ahead and jump back a little bit.
Because it's literally the one statue that has the whole fucking back of the head carved out of it, so you can put your face up in it.
If we want to talk about specifics of his character development and shit, yeah, we do learn that he has like some sort of human history knowledge. I guess it's something his father instilled in him, insisted on him learning the history of man and shit. And I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, helped in that whole adventure Indiana Jones vibe they were going for.
Yeah.
For
I wish there was a little bit more of that.
I wish they got rid of the fucking Sahara Desert scene for something more interesting. Because that whole scene, I just feel like... And then they just destroy that MacGuffin fucking plot device. Just whatever. I hated that scene.
Which we saw in trailers. Like,
yeah.
Almost that whole scene.
Mm-hmm. That whole scene was not only... like, we'd already seen it, but it just was pointless. It wasn't a fun part of the adventure. It felt like we were hitting the brakes for a minute.
Whenever I saw that trailer originally, it was like, oh, okay, the Sahara Desert, the driest place on Earth.
What are they going to do with this?
Thousands and thousands and thousands.
I thought maybe they were going to pull an ocean out of the ground or something. That would have been
how have we not
like, that's
touched
what
on
they were
ancient
saying.
Atlantis yet?
Huh?
Because there wasn't really that much about it. Like, I mean, it was there. They mentioned that it was ancient Atlantis, and that's it.
What do you got to say about it?
Now we've mentioned it.
What do you have to say about it, Odle?
We hadn't mentioned it.
We've gone into it just as much as the movie.
Maybe more. You're welcome, DC.
Yeah, there you go.
Expect my check.
Anything else you guys want to talk about? I mean, there are things like he looked badass in a suit, but we talked about that on previous episodes.
I really appreciated the way that final fight between Aquaman and Ocean Master ended, with him like harnessing that ability and everything.
You go from that big sprawling war to a more condensed, like, no, this is just between me and you.
No. Yeah. fuck that last fucking... Because he had the chance to kill Ocean Master. And he's like, that's not my...
No, that's not even what I'm talking about.
No, that's what I'm fucking talking about. He's like, that's not my swag or whatever the fuck it is.
He didn't say
that's
anything, like that.
No.
He actually said something really.
But he said something like, that's not what makes a hero. Bro, you just killed like 4 dozen people with sharks like 10 minutes ago, bro. I don't want to hear that shit.
Technically, it was the sharks that killed the guy.
They were just...
Fuck you, man. No, you don't kill to have to be a hero. No, bro, like you just, just saw what happened.
Maybe he didn't realize it when he was murdering people with sharks, and just now it hit him.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, guys that are riding sharks, guess what? Jaws, motherfucker!
I'll give you that. Yeah, it does come right off of the back of him mercilessly killing Lee.
A lot of people.
But... it's still what I wanted to see out of the character. I wanted him to come to that realization.
No, you can either have a character that's like, I'm gonna kill a bunch of motherfuckers with sharks that I'm controlling, or I won't kill you because that's not what I do.
Maybe his reasoning was like,
or even if it was like the sharks happened at the beginning of the movie and this happened at the end of the movie. No, this happened like 10 minutes away from each other, tops.
Maybe his reasoning was like, if I knock them off the sharks, they're just gonna die anyway. So maybe the best course of action is death by shark. I don't know.
No, he's just like, I can control these sharks. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Which is worse,
fuck you.
Death by crab mutant or death by zombie shark? I don't know.
Well, the crab mutant guys were fucking cool, man.
Now listen,
they were cool.
Yeah. If you had the chance to control a bunch of sharks that had people riding them that were trying to kill you, wouldn't you make those sharks eat those people?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
if I was fighting this one guy one-on-one, whether I was winning or losing, I'd be like, you know what? Rawr, shark.
Listen.
Like, he'd pull Free Willy, bro, and jump over that sub, do a fucking barrel roll, and while he's mid-barrel roll, off with your fucking head.
How it should have ended.
Here's the thing.
Oh, yes.
Here's the really important definition of your, the answer to your question. By no means should any of us ever acquire superpowers or some sort of kingly leadership role. We will abuse it.
Oh my God, we will.
For the love of God, there will be a lot of blood.
I don't even care what my power is. Sharks will be involved.
So
I
much
don't care what the superpower is, what nation I'm presiding over.
We will find a way to abuse the shit out of it.
There will be sharks.
I will find a... I can fly? I'm picking up a shark, and I'm dropping them on you from fucking 150 feet up in the air. I can go invisible. I can go invisible. Here's a shark just floating through the air.
Oh, does the shark give away my position? Don't care. Bringing in another
Because
shark.
I have a
Two
shark.
sharks now. 2 sharks, motherfucker.
I have super strength. Here's a dozen sharks. They might all be dead, but nothing's scarier than a dozen sharks flying at you.
You've got super strength. You invent the shark launcher, and now you're just parading through the street with a fucking shark launcher.
I have super speed. Guess what? This is a prequel to Sharknado. Woo!
I can't think of a better way to take this fucking episode out, guys. Like this episode if you liked it. Subscribe if you loved it. You're checking this out somewhere while here. Why not like, comment, any of your thoughts on the movie down below, and share. Sharing is the best way to get us out in front of people. And hit that bell on YouTube if you want to know when the newest episodes are up. Like our nerd news page, Sorta My Comics on Facebook. Follow Sorta My Podcast on Instagram. Check out Subject to Change Entertainment on Facebook and Twitter. And all of our personal social media is down in the description below. My name is Vincent Herman, Vin The Human.
I'm Sorta Fett, Bob Collins. Alpha Sharker.
Sharkspecter, whatever.
Play that badass shark music.